Do you ever wonder what happens when the police leave? Crime scene cleaners are private companies that handle the cleanup after the police are gone. Spaulding Decon is one of the nation's largest cleanup companies handling the aftermath of homicides, suicides, decompositions, hoarding, and much more. These are our stories.
We're here at a house where there was an unattended death that had happened late last year, actually, October. She was found maybe 9 to 14 days after she had passed.
And this was my ex-wife in my house at one time, and we got a divorce.
Right over there's her hair. Do you see that? I mean, that's her whole head of hair. And her mother took a lot of time doing that. She took this out of her hope chest, so I don't know, that's pretty old material, but what the heck am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
I'll never do anything with it. It'll stay in that bag until it rots.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I always wondered, what makes somebody keep some of this stuff. It's like, why would they keep that? Right over there's her hair. And I had to throw towels and stuff over it because, because it looked like, I don't know, maybe I've seen things. I don't think so, but part of her face looks like it's underneath the towels over there. Her hair is right there. It's all underneath that couch. All that's got to go away. And that carpet's soaked, and it's all the way, if you go, that's another thing I want to talk to you about too. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to get it out of my tracks, because it ran down the floor.
Yeah.
I pressure washed the back area, so I got it off that.
We take care of all
that. But all of that,
yeah.
I can't get it off. Mm-hmm. It's underneath the tracks. Take a look at some of this stuff. Look at what this woman was doing. I mean, she made Easter baskets, and all of this stuff is brand new. I mean, there's a whole box of Peps, and that's what she did. She made a lot of money at this stuff. And she was very good at it, but it's just, it's tons. I pulled all that stuff out of the back. It was all stacked up right here. I did that last night. It's full of stuff for making Easter baskets, and so her mind was always to help children. She was always looking for something to do to help them, It's like, it's really cool, Right in front of you, right there, yeah.
It's not in there.
Yeah. It's not?
No.
There's a stick in it.
Oh, I see what she did. She bolted it.
That right there, oh my God, do you see that? I mean, that's her whole head of hair. I mean, how can somebody deal with that? I don't know. She was obviously drinking a Pepsi. She obviously hit that table or something. And this right here is where she had to been, I think. But 3 weeks, she was everywhere, I mean, that couch, all the clothes, all that stuff has got to go because it's all like, I thought I could throw it away, but I touched one thing and I'm like, wow.
Where's the cats?
Huh?
Where the cats at?
The cats, one of them died when she was in jail. And I mean, the other one, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're lucky, usually the cats.
My neighbor said that the cat, well, I think it got outside somehow because the neighbor said that she's seen the cat a couple times and then the cat just disappeared.
Okay,
So
okay.
the cat probably, and it was a very friendly cat, so
Yeah.
somebody else might have picked it up or something.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like,
Yeah.
there's a dead animal in here.
No.
So,
I can smell it even if you can't because
Yeah.
I mean I'm living it,
yeah.
Oh, the flies.
You see all the way down?
Hi everybody, Carissa from Spaulding Decon, Southwest Florida. I'm here today. It's just me. Ed's going to be joining me a little bit later. They're wrapping up another project. So I am here in Cape Coral. We're here at a house where there was an unattended death that had happened late last year, actually, October. Not that she was just found or anything. She was found maybe 9 to 14 days after she had passed. The neighbor had noticed the front door had stayed open all this time, and so he called for a welfare check, and she was discovered just inside the hallway there in the living room where they are saying that she passed away of natural causes, but she was in her early 50s, so just an unfortunate type of situation. Ex-husband in another state, wasn't made aware of it. She fell behind on the mortgage, and I guess he had somebody reach out to him, and he discovered that she'd passed away, and he came out here to figure out the situation, and walked in not realizing that no one cleans up the mess in there. They take the body, but they don't clean it up. So he thought he could do it, so he got out his little blade and started to chisel away at the floor. And quickly realized that, wait a minute, this is somebody I love and care about, kind of started to have a little hard time with it. Kind of messes with your psyche a little bit, especially because there was still some parts of her hair. Her hair was still in the bio on the floor. Quite a bit of it, actually, some of the most I've ever seen. So you guys will get to see a little bit of it on the inside, and we'll keep posting and let you know how the progress goes.
All right, Carissa, so what's the plan for today, right now?
So the plan for right now is we're just trying to clear the floor space. Since this has been here since October of last year, the blood is pretty solidified, so the easiest way really to clean it up versus scrubbing it and scraping it is to like almost rehydrate it and then come in with the extractor and clean that up.
Is this one of the biggest decomp jobs you've had so far?
It's the second biggest one. Actually, about 3 weeks ago, we did one out in Naples where the gentleman probably lied maybe just as long, maybe not a little bit longer, another week or two longer. But that one was in a 3-bedroom home. It practically went from one end to the other because he also lay there with no air conditioning. Yeah, so it's up there. It's number 2, that's for sure.
My name's Charles Moyer, and this was my ex-wife in my house at one time, and we got a divorce. She started getting strange and bought a gun and told me that I needed to leave, and so I left because I didn't want to get shot. And after I left, she tried to run the house for a little while, and then she started losing her mind or something. Her and my neighbor got into an argument, and she threw a brick through the garage window right here, and she ended up going to jail. And then when she got out for just a couple of days, I think it was, and then after that was done, she was in our house in the back bedroom, and you'll probably see that, but it's she got mad at the neighbor again because her son was arguing with her because of what happened with the brick, and she wasn't paying for the window or something. She grabbed her gun at that time because the police never found it when they first arrested her. She grabbed the gun, she shot through the back window, and she was trying to shoot my neighbor is what it was because she was mad at her. So she shot through the back window through her back window. They're both sliding glass doors. It blew out the TV sitting right in front of the lady, and the police came. And they couldn't get her out of the house, so they considered an active shooter. And she put boards up against the door, so the police weren't able to get the doors open. So everything was locked down. The kids were getting out of school, and the whole road was covered with people. And the police had evacuated all the people out of these cars and moved all their cars down to the parking lot. All these houses on the street were evacuated. All the street behind us was evacuated because they didn't have a clue what kind of shooter this was. Since they couldn't get her out, they brought the SWAT team. So the school, they had to put everybody in the neighborhood all into that gymnasium, into the school. There was snipers up on top of the school. On all these houses, there was 3 or 4 houses on this side that had the snipers on them that they were watching to see if anybody was going to leave. There's helicopters, and they brought in a tank thing, which I think it was totally a little excessive, for what was going on. But then they got her and they took her to jail. She was in jail for like 6 to 8 months or something like that. So this house kind of set just like open, there was open in the back, the front door was open, and it just set.
So this is the part that was bothering the ex-husband the most. He's probably been here about the last 5 days. Basically what it's taken to get us somewhat the claim going with his insurance company, making sure that they're going to come out, and started the process for releasing the funds for him to start taking care of some of this. So unfortunately he had to live with this a little longer than what we all would have liked to, but this is the most difficult part for him to
And this is the hair, right?
Yeah, this is her hair. I'm just gonna kind of get that up off the floor.
Yeah, she was here, couldn't it? You want me with the bag?
Probably what they'll do is just unscrew the feet and put those in the biohazard box, and then the rest of the couch goes in the trash. So this white stuff on the floor, what you're seeing is he had a friend who's a contractor that he had asked to come and meet him here, and they were going to try to attempt to remove the tile and clean this up themselves. But upon walking in, the contractor, he was like, "Oh no, I can't do this." He says, "But we need to do something with all these bugs in here." So they threw down a powdered chemical to kill the bugs. So that's what you're seeing a lot of the biohazard is mixed with this bug killer.
So she passed over here? Over there?
Yeah.
So you can see, oh, wow.
Mini hoarder.
Oh, a lot of stuff. Okay.
All decorations.
Yeah. What we're gonna do here is all of this stuff is gonna go out to the dump, unfortunately. The cabinet has been contaminated all along the bottom there. He's already kind of cleaned it up a little bit, he was saying. So I'm not really sure how bad it used to look, because I don't have any pictures of the before of that. But we can see just from looking at it that it's up underneath the wood. So and this is pretty old, so it's probably soaked up, some of the bodily fluids from underneath. And this is all her stuff. The new wife is going to be joining him in this home later part of July, and she didn't want to see any of this stuff, so can't blame her. She's already being a trooper moving into his deceased wife's home, which died on the floor in. So hats off to her. Okay. So sometimes what we do with this type of situation, if you've been laying here for quite a while, is we rehydrate the blood, the dry blood with water, which makes it a little bit easier to kind of clean up. But there's so much moisture in the air right now that it's only kind of gummy, so it's not too hard to kind of just scrape up and get out of our way, kind of get our path going here a little better. So we're not slipping and sliding and getting it all over the place. Just because of the extensiveness of this, it's kind of hard to get a good start with it right now. So much stuff to get out of the way. Some big pieces of furniture and stuff are going to have to be getting rid of, only because, again, the bodily fluids and the biohazard went up and kind of come up through the bottom of it. So the furniture, the carpet over there, all this laminate flooring and the tile in here through the foyer and into the kitchen and stuff, we'll just have to follow it and see, obviously blood doesn't go through the tile, but the grout is where the problem is. You did a good job.
Yeah, and I did this, I had done all this. When I moved in, there was blue carpet in here. It looked like it was, definitely like flower child people or something. I don't know. The walls were this light green color, and then once it's clean, you still do that. Like right there, I still smell.
Oh, man.
Crazy. That's not disgusting. I mean, just
The
anything.
body.
And that is her still, That's how I see it. But at least I believe in God. I know the spirit is gone, and this is just what hell she was, I gotta look at that.
And this is blood?
Yeah, this is my blood.
Oh, I thought that was indicator. I was like, oh, it's an indicator.
Blood, bodily fluid, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you want me to scrape or you have it heavier?
This is really different. It feels different, because this has been the longest that we have ever had a body, and the body fluids remain.
What's the smell like?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the decomp, the smell's already gone, surprisingly, so it didn't smell as bad. But he was also here, and he'd had the doors open for a while before we came, at least, I don't know, a couple days or so. So, we might not be smelling it at its worst.
Just always, if you start feeling weird, just remember, I have been here for 2 weeks, living with it, and I knew the person.
Has it been 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks. I thought it was only like 8 days, but
I only thought it was a couple days. Wow.
I have been here 2 weeks.
Wow.
I slept on that back porch. And I don't know, it was the guy that was with you that changed my life, I'll tell you, because this light right here, now, I'm a spiritual guy, right? I know she's from, I'm gonna turn the light down for 1 second, okay? But that light, you see how it flashes? It's because I didn't have it all the way out. But I was outside, and I'm thinking, oh my God. That just freaked me out because it just started flashing. It's amazing what goes through your head,
Yeah, she had those on maybe 10 minutes.
She came back here and there was no power, no water, the food is bad, everything in the refrigerator. So I mean, she came back to black, you know what I mean? I can understand, you know, why she even got more depressed and fell into her depression or whatever. Then she called me on the phone and she was begging me to come back to her and pay. She said, I can't pay for the house, I can't pay for the power, I can't do anything. I need you to come back. Can you please come back to help me fix my life? As much as I wanted to and as much as I admired this woman, because she was brilliant, but I couldn't. I already remarried. I have 2 children, and I felt for her, but I said, you know what? I just can't do that. You know, I mean, I didn't even know that she had passed away. I had left when I left this marriage. This is my house, and it's my loan, my everything. But I raised her son, you know, from the time he was 2 until he was 17 or 16, excuse me. And so I couldn't just tell her to get out of my house. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be right. So I let her stay here, and she lived here with her son. I felt like I didn't have anything, you know, when I left, because it was like, what did I do? Why did I do that? But I think it was the right moral thing to do.
The only thing this doesn't do that the extractor does is it kind of sucks it back up. The extractor does. This is just wetting it. So we're still going to have to go with a paper towel. To get Crystal a little path here so she can start taking out some of the items inside of this unit here that the homeowner wants to keep. We are going to be pulling up the floor, but we just need to have this path cleared for us.
Yeah, because I could definitely see people wondering why clean it when you're going to remove it anyway.
Right, yeah. This isn't like someone's bodily fluids that's only been here for, you know, a week or, you know, a couple days. This is almost 9 months. This has actually been sitting here on the floor. So you can imagine the tenacity that it's taken to get it up, you know. Yes, we're going to be ripping out the floor, but you still have to get to a point where the team can come in and get to it to start you know, demoing the floor without cross-contaminating everything. So I had to break down, I had to get on the knees, you know. So she can only spend so long in that squatted, you know, position. You know, the better part of this morning's only been spent, you know, getting rid of some of the items that were all over the floor, moving the furniture out of the way to get to the bio because it was under the carpet. It's kind of spread all the way to the sliding glass doors, underneath this cabinet here, the table, I mean all the way into this entryway here. So we really had no good access without constantly going through it. So it's been quite a chore to cut through it and give ourselves a little bit of room. So that's what we spent the first 4 hours today doing. So we're gonna go get some lunch, refuel, come back. Maybe some recruitments will be here coming from another project and bringing us some machinery to continue on with more people being able to help. Ed and the rest of the team were just wrapping up a project in Marco Island, which is about an hour away. So they were able to get the extractor over here to us. I'm going to get some utility knives. We got to cut up some carpet. We're going to bust up some baseboards and the extractor. The extractor is a big part of what we use because it helps to get the debris up off of the floor, whether it's tile, laminate, anything like that. So then we'll have at least a little cleaner working surface as we start to remove the flooring.
Ed with Spaulding Decon Southwest Florida. So I'm up here dropping off the extractor. We were challenged with the equipment dispersal. We got a job going on the other end of the southwest area of Marco Island, and we need to get the extractor up here for this job. So thankfully today's kind of cool compared to the last couple of days. It was hot and brutal.
What'd you put in there?
Shockwave.
Oh, just
Yeah, we put
shockwave?
shockwave in there. Yeah. So.
How long does it take to heat up?
This one doesn't heat up. This one is just cold. So I just have to turn it on now.
Then they call me back, this Spaulding Decon. Just my thoughts is racing all the time, and I can't slow down. I feel like this is just overwhelming. But we plan on moving back in the house. I've been making amends with the neighbors. All of the neighbors were traumatized, and they still are, kind of. They actually stopped. Like yesterday, I had just one neighbor that lives right down here stop and says they couldn't believe I was moving back in. I'm helping therapy with all these. My next door neighbor, the one that got shot, she now has PTSD. She can't go on her back lanai. She's afraid, even though they built a 6-foot fence. And I feel really bad for them, you know. But I believe God is telling me that I need to help them heal too. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm gonna fix all that. I know I will. I'll be able to fix all that. The Spaulding Decon people are different than all of the other companies that I've talked to, because they're just here. They came, they just, okay, we want the money, want to do the job. You know, I could tell it was just like that. You know, it's just as like my person that comes and mows the lawn. He just comes, does his job and go. I don't talk to him or nothing. I just give him a few bucks and he goes. Well, it wasn't like that. She came and she actually, I could feel empathy from her, like it mattered to her. That's a big deal to me, because this matters to me. This has been very heavy for me. You know, I don't wish this on anybody. Nobody should have to deal with something like this. But she has talked me through it. She called my insurance company, but I was really beside myself before she came here. I didn't have a clue where to go. It was overwhelming. Everything was like I'm moving from one room to the next because I don't know what to do with it. And she kind of centered my thoughts a little bit and kind of made me feel, okay, I am doing the right thing here. And your company has it's amazing. I would recommend it I hope I don't ever have to recommend you guys to anybody, because I don't want other people to die. But hey, it is what it is, you know. Nobody's getting out alive.
So I don't like to throw away money, but in this particular case, I mean, it being a penny nonetheless, is that it's more effort to clean it up, unfortunately. It didn't clean up easily where I could just wipe it off, and then usually have a bucket and you just throw all the money in there. So in this particular case, I mean, the backside is completely covered, you know. I'm not finding a lot of money anyways, no loose change. I mean, typically we find lots of loose change and stuff, but not in this case. So it's really, you know, unfortunate, not worth saving and soaking and scrubbing and cleaning it, you know. So we are going to just get rid of it. And then I'll just pick up this guy. There's lots of rat feces in here too. This is part of, you know, the door being open for probably 14 days. That area over there is still kind of soaking a little bit. You know, this is just a preliminary clean it enough so where the other techs can come in and, you know, and tear up the baseboards and the floor and the tile. You know, so at least they're working in a somewhat clean, you know, environment.
She probably had a bunch of flowers here, and she was really into that. I could just imagine kind of what it looked like, you know. That's the hard thing, because I'm trying to imagine my new family here, but I could see her passions, you know. It's hard to take.
Yeah.
This is.
Rodent droppings, or is this body count?
No, it's rodent droppings. There's rodent droppings in here. Throw it over the side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we are, the end of day one. We are in Cape Coral at a bio, and we've pretty much emptied out the living room, dining room, entryway. We've got a dumpster here. It's not that full. We still got a lot of stuff to do. We spent a great deal of time cleaning the floor. This bio is one of the second biggest ones that we've ever done. Your body laid there between 9 and 14 days. No heat, the door wide open. There's laminate flooring, and so what we spent a great deal of time was scrubbing and cleaning that all up today, so where tomorrow morning the crew can come in and immediately just start popping up the baseboards, scraping up the linoleum and chipping away the tile, and we'll start hauling that out. Meanwhile, we got a little more work to do in the kitchen. This bio went from the living room, went around the corner and into the kitchen and underneath the refrigerator. So we still got a little bit of work to do in there.
And how was the client so far?
Typically the clients are not present when we do these types of clean outs. Most people, just don't want to be present and just call me when it's all over. People move into hotels, they go to family, but when no one here, he's from North Carolina. He's made his life there. He doesn't really have any friends here. He was lucky enough to have a friend that flew out here to be with him, and they've been hanging out in the back bedroom, but even the smell kind of got to her a little later this afternoon, and she had to go catch an Uber and head out of Dodge for a while. It makes me feel bad. It's definitely one of those things that the smell gets into your nose hairs. You'll wake up in the middle of the night going, man, I can still smell that. All right, well, good morning. Here we are at our Cape Coral biohazard day 2. So just popping up some of the baseboards. We're still going to run the extractor a little bit.
Well, I'm very pleased with what's going on here. Mentally, it's changed me, so I couldn't be happier, with what's going on.
The bio that's kind of run down in here into the grout, it's pretty thick.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified of the next episode.
For more information, visit any of our locations.